You join me today as I'm struggling, really struggling. I should be working on the Daihatsu today, yet I cannot bring myself to work on the Daihatsu today. I seem to have run into another one of those anti-tinkering modes. I hit one good couple of years ago, but I walloped straight into one again. I just don't want to do the job. I sat on the sofa earlier trying to just will myself to get up the unit and ended up getting so caught up in it all that I actually forgot to have breakfast. So I ended up going, right, I'm off, I'm going to the unit, and then had to divert off and get breakfast because I realised I hadn't actually eaten. I was just like, why am I hungry? And so, yeah, one of those sorts of days. Really good, really useful. Get up the unit, and before I could do any tinkering, I had to wash the Panda because the Panda was absolutely filthy. Then I thought I'd wash this car, even though Desmond wasn't particularly filthy. Oh, well, rear arches were. So I thought, oh, well, I'll do that as well. And then I was like, oh, well, really, I shouldn't just leave them washed. I should probably put a coat of something on the cars to protect them. So I did that, and then I realised there was a bung missing from the sill on Desmond, and has been since we did the initial rust proofing not long after we got Desmond. So I thought I'd go see Lewis at Whiteland Restorations. That felt like a good excuse to go over there and have a natter. So I did that for a bit, not too long, because Lewis is very busy working on a very big project at the moment. And then I got a message to say that Miss Hubner needed some antibiotics picking up because she thinks she's got a bit of a chest infection. So I had to go and do that as a mission. And then I thought, oh, well, I could wait for the local pharmacy to open, or I could drive to Aberaeron. So I went and did that. So I've managed to eat through most of the day without getting anywhere near the Daihatsu. And I think it is all very, very deliberate. I don't trust my tinkering at the moment. I'm in such a low place with it again. This is why I ended up getting Giles, the mobile mechanic, to come and do the service on the Sangyong. I'm sure I could have done it myself. There was nothing particularly complicated about it, other than the fact it was draining 8 litres of oil. So you need to be ready for that. If you're using one of those little 5-litre catch cans, that ain't going to work. So, but actually, it was just really nice to watch Giles do it, because he just worked his way around it all, replaced the ball joint that was an MOT advisory, just so we can make sure that car is top notch. And it was just a joy, and certainly a lot more joy than it would have been to watch myself attempting the same sort of job. All in all, it took him less than 2 hours, including nattering time. And I think it would have taken me for bloody ever. It would have been, and I would have got spilled oil all over the floor. I would have failed to get the ball joint to come out of the arm. It would have been just an absolute mess. And I'm a little bit fed up with it. I think sometimes maybe you have to realise you're not good at something. I mean, the evidence of almost 11 years of Hubnut. Actually, no, it's going to be 12 years of Hubnut, isn't it? Blimey. 12 years of Hubnut. The evidence is I'm not very good at tinkering on cars. There is no point in any of that time where I've looked particularly competent, I don't think. And mostly the tinkering has been driven by necessity because I can't afford to farm jobs out. But as our finances recover, now there's 2 of us bringing an income into the household, I'm sort of thinking, well, maybe I will just farm some jobs out, and maybe I'll do more of that. I mean, I've farmed some jobs out before, and there's no guarantee of success. I farmed out jobs on the Berlingo, and it went catastrophically wrong. So sometimes that happens as well. But finding good garages can be difficult. Not everyone gets it, but you're actually prepared to spend money on your low value cars. A lot of people just don't quite understand it. But yeah, it's I genuinely don't want to touch it. And it's not because it's a Daihatsu. It's not because it's not my car, because it's Miss Hubnut's car. I'm not comfortable with the spanners at the moment. All those tools, and mostly, well, first of all, they get lost quite easily, and I don't really know what I'm doing. This is probably, even more than last time, this is the biggest crisis of confidence I think I've ever had. And it makes me realise that primarily I get my enjoyment from cars from being here, from doing the driving. That is where my joy is. I mean, you've probably noticed there is not much tinkering on Hubnut at the moment, and this is kind of why. I mean, this is the fact that tinkering eats up a lot of time and brings in very little income, because the videos don't tend to do all that well. So as a business model, and unfortunately it's my job, I have to consider it from a business point of view, it doesn't really work. I can spend an entire week making one video, and that one video may bring in 120 quid, which doesn't sound bad, but that's 5 days of work. So as an hourly rate, it's appalling. And I think that's true of an awful lot of people. I'm aware of, you know, the likes of Nino, Not Economically Viable, Ben, Tasty Classics, putting out very long videos. One reason for that being that you get more income for a long video generally. But even so, I should think the amount of time they're pouring into each of those videos, often several days, if not weeks in some cases, yeah, the payback is not brilliant. So if you're wondering why there aren't more people doing tinkering stuff on YouTube, that is one of the reasons. It doesn't really pay very well. It makes much more commercial sense for me to do the road tests, because the road tests bring more money in generally. Results can vary. Some cars hit really hard unexpectedly, some less so. But it doesn't cost that much to do. I can do a couple of those in a day, and generally it's only travel costs. Sometimes it'll be accommodation as well, like when I did the Hyundai Insta trip up to Scotland, there was a bit of accommodation on that. Very fortunate that someone put me up for 2 nights on that one, so that's always appreciated. Yeah, the financial return on that trip way exceeds what I can make tinkering over the same sort of time scale. That was like 4 or 5 days, effectively, not including the editing time, obviously, because that comes on top as well. Yeah, there's a lot to think about. But I just can't bring myself to touch the cars at the moment, which isn't good, because I've been putting work off on Betty for a long time now. I need to get that done. She's still got that leak from the timing chain tensioner, which is gradually dripping oil into the alternator. It's been doing that for like 2 years, and I just haven't got around to doing it. Fuel filter needs doing on Betty. I haven't done that either. I mean, it doesn't help. It's one of those, it's up near the tank, I think. So it's one of those jobs you don't really want to be doing on the ground. I don't like being in a position where it's hard to move when there's a chance of pouring petrol everywhere, because if that ignites, you're in all kinds of bother. Not that I ever have had a petrol fire. I've had an oil fire, but I don't think I've ever had a petrol fire. But I certainly did once manage to, it was when I I think was it on Foxan? I can't remember. It was one of the cars. I cleverly thought, I shall anneal the copper washer, because if you get it red hot and let it cool down again, it becomes crushable again. So I was doing that, but there was still some oil on the crushable washer, which dripped. And stupid me was heating it directly above where the oil had just been caught in a little plastic can. So that went up. Fire, and this was at the old house, so if I hadn't got that fire under control, it would have burnt the entire house down. Those integrated garages definitely have their downsides, but thankfully I remained very level-headed. I'm quite good at remaining level-headed in a panic situation, and I just grabbed a cloth, threw it over the top, smothered it, jobbed. But yeah, my competency levels haven't really improved from then, and that's like 6-7 years ago. I don't think they are going to. So I do love that I've inspired lots of people to have a go, and proved that things do go wrong. And things go wrong for the professionals as well. But I think as a professional, you tend to learn what really isn't a good idea, and I never do. And B, you get very good at undoing a bad situation. So if a bolt snaps, you know how best to get that out. It's things like that. But yeah, I'm just struggling, really struggling. But I wanted you to know this is why there is no tinkering. It's 2 parts. It's one, I've got a huge mental block on it again, and it's not good because I've got to get that Daihatsu finished. Or if I get the Daihatsu finished, what does that mean for Desmond? Anyway, you'll see that in the next weekly update. And yeah, two, I am focusing on trying to build the channel up more. So I'm focusing on what works well. And I mean, it isn't rocket science. If I go and look at my most successful videos of all time, generally it's road tests. And I don't want to be all smug and big-headed about it, but I think I am quite good at doing the road tests. I don't think there's really anyone doing them in quite the same way that I do, and certainly not the same broad mix of pretty much absolutely everything. I mean, there are some people who do better cinematically, some people who do cars that people actually want to watch. Yeah, there are a few people out there doing really good work, but I don't think anyone does it quite like I do. I think that is my niche, and I know I can be better. Trying to do them single-handedly again is more of a challenge because I've got a fixed camera, and rather too often I'm looking at recent videos and I've got the camera set up on that window, so you get a view down the road and hopefully a bit of me as well. It's a bit boring having that fixed position. I need to get better at recording different angles, different B-roll. There's always things to do, but I love doing the road tests. I love doing the deep research that's needed to do those road tests, and I love editing them up as well. So that's going to be the focus on the main channel for a bit. I'm just going to work my way through road tests and new acquisitions on the channel. There's something bubbling away that may or may not happen, so I can't really say what yet. But there's some interesting stuff. I've got a lot to be getting on with this week. Tomorrow is Goodbye Rodius. What am I doing on Thursday? Oh, Thursday I'm going to see someone that may be relevant to a purchase. Friday I've got a road test, just one car, and it is so hubnut. It is an exceedingly hubnut car. It was at Rustival. I'm not going to say anymore. It's just ridiculously hubnut. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's the only test I've got that day. I've got time, and I need to remember this to try and get all the different camera angles and make it a really, really good one, and make an absolute cinematic feast on an utterly humdrum, exceedingly boring car, because that's the hubnut way. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be fantastic. And then next week I've got some not so hubnut cars, and a bit of a road trip probably in Betty. So lots going on, lots coming your way, but none of it is tinkering, and I just thought I'd explain a bit why. I mean, doing those road tests is a proper challenge, because you've got to, as a single person, you're having to produce direct script, and I script on the fly. I don't rehearse my words. What comes out in my head is just, I've poured some facts in and I hope they come out, and mostly they're correct. Quite often there's a mistake. In fact, every video has a mistake somewhere. But yeah, you're trying to produce, direct, shoot, do sound. You're doing it all in one go. So they are incredibly intense things to do, which is why generally I try not to do more than 2 in a day, because otherwise your brain just explodes. Tried it several times on the New Zealand trip and it was a bad idea. Yeah, anyway, I'm digressing. That was my point. It's just that I'm having a wobble again on the tinkering stuff. I know there are fans of it. Why are you fans of my hopeless tinkering? But we'll see where we go. I may have to get some help in and just get some jobs moving along, because the jobs need to happen, and evidently I am not making them happen. So we'll see where we are. But huge thanks for your continued support and your patience. Thanks especially to the channel members and patrons. You really do help us keep marching along. Thanks to those who bought merchandise. I am wearing, showing it off really badly, my new It Went Hubnut t-shirt, and available in a range of colours. We've got hoodies, we've got mugs, all on the new store. I'll put the link below, and see you over on the main channel. Got a very exciting road test coming tomorrow. It's gold, it's automatic, it's a very hubnut spec, so look out for that, and I shall see you soon. Bye.